Hi, welcome back to our channel, Two Brothers Opinions. My name is Barry. This is my brother Mark.
All right, so today we're going to pick up episode or part 2 of our 4-part series. And today's topic, marriage and then parenting.
Marriage and parenting combination.
Yeah. So where do we want to start with marriage?
Well, our part 1 was dating.
right.
When we were younger, dating and our expectations of dating
Right.
leading to marriage.
Correct.
So basically, we could say we dated.
Well, not we.
Not us together.
Yeah, that would be incest or something.
But anyhow, I mean, my experience, I could go with, I was introduced to someone by friends.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the ways that we talked about earlier. And met someone and we dated and we were together 12 years and we were married 4 out of the 12. And then that led to something else that we'll
Right.
talk about later.
So,
but
but what was it about? Not specifically her, but what was it about marriage that you were like, let's get married. Let's start this thing.
okay, so we dated and we liked each other and we dated exclusively and things just progressed. And the more we were together, the more we wanted to be together, which is what everybody's looking for. But, we also talked about our families and what they did. So in other words, we saw our mom and dad, I'm only talking from my perspective, not hers, of course, and what led up to me being born, my brother, sister, being together, striving for that marriage, unity, build a life together, maybe possibly have kids, have a home. And that's what I was looking for. I was looking for everything that we had as a child.
That's funny, because my first marriage, I was looking for the exact same thing, but what the opportunity that came was kind of already pre-made. So I married a woman who was 4 years older than me, already had 2 kids.
Okay.
Right? So they were 4 and 5.
Mm-hmm.
So I was halfway there.
You were definitely.
Yeah, because I almost had like a ready-made marriage.
Mm-hmm.
I go in, and I'm only 22 at the time. So I go in, and now we lived together, dated, lived together for a year, and then we got married. But then all of a sudden I'm married, and I have 2 kids already.
Mm-hmm.
So the next piece was let's work towards getting a house. And that came within a year, I think.
Fairly quickly.
Pretty quick.
Yeah.
So within a very short time of getting married, well, even meeting someone, getting married, getting a house, it was a period of like 2 to 3 years. And boom, ready made.
Yeah, and then we had multiple houses.
Yeah.
You had.
Yeah, because we then upgraded.
Yeah.
But that for me was like, I could cut out the middleman here, and I could go right in and go, I'm halfway to my goal.
Yeah.
And we were together 13 years, married 12.
Okay.
So, but that was it. That was what drew me. The same thing that was drawing you was drawing me too. Like,
what we saw.
I can end up with a wife and kids in the house, like, quick.
Yeah. What we saw is happiness.
Yep.
And that's what we wanted. We wanted the same thing our parents had.
Yeah.
I mean, 12 years, married for 4, so that's 8 years of dating. But it's really weird when I go back and I look at something like this, because I pretty much just, the next episode of my life, and I take that and I just forget about the past. But it was so much easier than it is for children today. Kids growing up today. I mean, our first rent, it was $60 a week.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That's $240 a month.
Yeah.
For a semi-furnished 1-bedroom.
Yeah. You could get started.
Yeah, you had to have a phone because there was no such thing as cell phone.
Right.
So you had a phone, turn your electricity on, turn your gas on because it was a gas stove. I mean, you could live next to nothing. I remember bill coming in was like $15 like for gas for the month.
So it was a lot easier in society. It was a lot easier to get married. I mean, and like get started.
Yeah, absolutely. Compared to today.
Yeah, no, it's
I
ridiculous.
mean, you look today we know we were looking for an apartment.
Yeah.
You look for a 1-bedroom in a decent area, you're paying $1,700, $1,800.
Yeah,
And I'm talking about 1 bedroom in a good area.
right. Yeah, we ended up in a 2-bedroom and a okay area. I mean, it's good. It's safe.
Nice.
It's safe. It's nice. Small town. But yeah, you're in the $1,700 range.
Yep, $1,700.
So yeah, it takes either one really, really good income or 2 incomes to afford stuff.
Yep.
So then you're trying. Then if you're thinking about getting a house, and then if you want to get a house and then start having kids, I think people look at it now and go, I can't do all that. Like it's too expensive.
Yeah. So the previous episode was dating.
Yeah.
Pretty much high school, college, and then looking into what we're talking about now, which would be marriage.
Marriage
And children.
and children. Yeah.
Okay. So I think I'm only speaking for me. Is my mistake was not dating enough. I didn't say the person that I met was a good person.
She was.
Absolutely, she was. I think what it is I didn't have enough experience dating to make that type of a decision to move on to marriage. And I think a lot of people today also, they meet someone and they like that person and then they just exclusively date. And I was young. I forget how old I was, 17 maybe, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And she was a couple years younger than me. She was still in high school. I was already out. And I remember going to school to pick her up, and then we just went on this journey of not dating anyone else, just exclusively dating and looking towards marriage quickly and living together, doing this life of husband and wife when we weren't husband and wife. And I think if things were different in my life, I definitely would have been like, I like you, but I'm also going to date other people.
Yeah.
I made that mistake.
Well, yeah, and I think the mistake, because again, I didn't have an extensive history of dating either. And all I was going by, and kind of what you're saying is, we were going by the template that we saw in our own family and saying, well, I just need to do that.
Yeah.
I just need, as a guy, I need to marry someone, treat her nice. I need to work hard. And that's marriage, in a sense.
Yeah.
Because we're going to do this together. Without a chance to make mistakes along the way.
And learn from them.
Yeah, and I think that's what you were saying about not having a bunch of people that you dated. Yeah, you don't really get a chance to make the mistakes or learn from them or figure out how to like process those mistakes with the other person. Maybe they made a mistake. How do you then deal with someone else screwing something up? Yeah, you were learning that while you're married, or at least while you're exclusive. But I think I wonder how many people do that though. They go by, well, I think I know what it looks like, so I'll just do that.
Yeah. I mean, and my second marriage, it was just a transition to the same thing, almost. I met someone who was going through a divorce as well as me. I mean, I don't even know how to transition to the next subject. I don't want to transition to the next part, which would be divorce, our third. But I'm just saying, very kind of similar, met and then started dating and then just ended up living together and doing that and then ended up getting married again.
Right, because, as you're living together and you're doing it, you're kind of doing the family marriage thing. So at some point...
Because she had a kid that I was raising.
Right.
He was... think 4.
Yeah. But it's interesting because that's kind of like what happened with me and my second. It's like we were living together. We actually dated here on the East Coast, moved to Arizona, lived out there for a couple of years, came back here. We're still now we actually got her parents helped us get a house. So now it's like we're doing everything except a ring. So at that point, it was like, we probably should just get married.
Yeah.
We're already doing it.
For how many years?
We got married. We were married 6 years, but we were together 4, so that's 10.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing. You were just saying. It's like, well, we're kind of already doing it with you and your second, and she had a kid, and you're sitting there looking at it going, this looks like marriage.
It was.
Right. So you might as well go, well, let's make
get married.
Let's make it legal.
Yeah. And that's pretty much what we did.
Yep. And I don't think any of that was bad. Now, in terms of you're looking at what marriage you think marriage is, and you're just trying to get that. Now, whether it's the other person, whether it's a combination of the two people, okay, that's why marriages can go bad, and that's, like I said, we'll deal with that in the next episode of this. But I don't think it's a bad thing to say, well, I think I know what it looks like, and let's try and make that happen. Now, sometimes you're working really, really hard to make it happen, and the other person gives up. Which,
yeah, I mean, I worked hard, did as much as I could. Ended up buying a 3-family house, and then lived there a year, and then rented that out and got a condo. So, and that rent paid for that mortgage and the condo. So, I mean, how could you go wrong?
Right.
You can't go
No, you're
wrong
right.
with that.
At that point, you're looking at it going, I'm doing everything I think I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah, everything looked good on paper.
Yeah.
On paper, it's like, okay, when people say, well, I mean, we just got saying how expensive it is to rent now. I mean, I had both mortgages paid by other people.
Yeah. Which still isn't a bad idea.
No.
If you can do it.
No, it's a great thing. I mean, being a landlord has its ups and downs too. But now, then again, in my second marriage, I was blessed with a child that wasn't mine, that I raised. And then, let's see, how many years later? Like, I don't know, a few years later, then I had my daughter, who's going to be 30
Right.
in a couple of days. 30, like that, 30 years.
Yeah.
30 years is not a sneeze.
No.
You know, you say, hey, I have my daughter, she's 3. Oh, okay.
Right.
But when you say she's going to be 30,
I know.
it's like you look and say, well, where the hell did life go?
Well, same with my first marriage, where kids were 4 and 5. They were 5 and 6 when we got married. They're 51 and 52 years old now. You know, it's like, but in terms of like following a template, if you had a template like do this, and that's marriage. We were both kind of doing that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, in my first one, I was like, okay, so I have a ready-made wife and family. So I worked, I used to deliver between 150 and 200 newspapers in the morning. So I'm out at 4 o'clock in the morning, finished that, went to work in a factory from 7 to 3, left the factory at 3 o'clock, went to work for a company that cleaned banks. I used to go in when the bank closed and do the garbage vacuum.
Yeah.
I was working 3 jobs.
Oh, I used to work tons of overtime.
Yeah.
So you're doing
what you believe marriage is supposed to be.
what the man in a marriage is supposed to be.
Also based on the fact that our father worked in a factory. Now you probably don't remember because you were really young, but he would work an 8-hour job in a factory, go work another 8-hour job in a different factory. And then he was a constable in our town. And when they were putting in the pipeline, the natural gas pipeline, he used to go up there and sit and make sure that nobody vandalized the equipment.
Yeah.
He would sleep in his car.
Yeah, but
But still, he was there.
yeah.
He would come back in the morning, wash up real quick, grab his lunch, and go to work again.
Yeah, I remember when he drove taxi on Saturdays and Sundays.
Yep. He did that. There were times we'd go downtown and we'd shop, and he'd be there, and sometimes he'd give us a ride home.
Give us a ride home.
Yeah.
And charge us, the bastard.
No, he didn't. He didn't.
He didn't charge us.
He did try to swipe us a few times. Though.
Yeah. Shut your mouth.
But I think we were doing what our template is. So now you take someone who didn't grow up like us. Again, we talked about inner city, maybe violence, not 2 parents. What template do they go by? Maybe do they go by what they
Kids
see?
go by what they see.
Right. So is it what they see on YouTube? Is it what they see in movies?
Yeah.
Is it possibly what they see with other friends, but their friends are probably in the same
Category.
chaos that they are? What template do they follow? Probably none. Other than, oh, well, we love each other and we'll just figure it out.
Yeah.
So I think
That's why I remember I was saying it's a vicious cycle.
yeah.
So we saw our household, which was a good household. So that's what we wanted.
Yeah.
Now, kids today, one single parent, maybe not living in the greatest area, or mom's struggling and has to bring in a guy once in a while to help with bills. They see that.
Yep.
And then there's the cycle again.
And do they see people, like we talked in the last one, about throwaway? Are people throwaways? Yeah, you bring someone in for a while, they move in, maybe they're not, they don't get married, but they're living together, doing the so-called like pseudo family thing, and then they have a fight and one moves out.
So what does that show the child? It shows the child when there's an argument, things get a little tough, you toss the person out.
Yep.
Or you walk out yourself.
Yeah. And I think that happens a lot with people who either have seen their parents go through divorce, and maybe their step parents then at that point, now another family breaks up. I think it's a lot easier for them to go, you know what, I'm not happy in mine, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
But I don't think they have a template to go by.
No.
And yet you see some people that are more, we'll say, Christian, who kind of follow the teachings of the religion, and I think they have a better template, like what it's supposed to be, whether it's 10 Commandments or whatever. It's like you're here to honor the fact that you're married and those vows that you gave, and
means something.
And right, and they don't mean that those are just like
Yeah.
I'll follow 2 or 3 of them and not all of them. No, it means you work through stuff, you deal with stuff. Marriage is, as everybody knows, marriage is not easy.
No, hell no, it's not.
But
Work every day at it.
yeah, and if you don't, it can get sour. But if it gets sour, then you fix it.
Yeah.
Because you've made a commitment to someone else. And I think, so I don't know if people hold marriage in such a high regard as maybe they did a generation ago.
Yeah.
If you got married.
I mean, I can speak for myself. Yeah, it's easy to walk out the door. It's easy to throw it away. It's a lot easier than staying there and fight.
Yeah. I mean, it could be, again, based, but then sometimes you look at things, and I know one of your situations, I remember even saying to you got to get out because it's not good.
Yeah.
So there are times, I guess getting out is different than walking away. I guess if I'm splitting hairs.
No. Don't say
sometimes
hair.
it's not.
Don't never say hair around us.
We were splitting bald heads. But no, I think sometimes you gotta look at, is this actually hurting me?
Yeah.
Like physically, mentally, and is it even good? Is it abusive? If it's abusive, I don't think people.
And we don't mean physically.
No, right.
Mentally,
In this case,
mentally
right,
abusive.
right, yeah. I think in that case, you could sit there and say, I get why it didn't work or it ended. But in other cases, it was just like, well, we didn't get along, we fought a lot. So go fix it.
Fix it, yeah.
Figure out the problem.
And it all comes from maturity, too. Like I was saying, when I was very young, we met, she was still in high school, and I had just graduated technically. And when you're that young, you don't really know.
No.
You really don't know. And you just go with the flow. And that's what I did.
Yeah. But the other thing is, it's frustrating sometimes.
Oh yeah.
To say, like, why does everybody just? It's so easy to just like say I'm done. I don't get that. I mean, I don't want to get. We're going to eventually get into the divorce thing, but now sometimes it's understandable. Like we talked about, marriage is hard. We talked about economically, it's stress.
Yeah.
Now you add kids in. Do you agree on parenting styles?
True.
Because some people, it's okay with a little swat.
Yeah.
And other
one
people
is
are like,
don't touch my kid.
Right. And other people be like, oh no, we'll give a timeout.
We got
I'd be like,
timeouts.
yeah,
We got a crack.
yeah,
But not.
it wasn't abusive.
No, and never, never
It
was.
changed your attitude
Very quick.
about some things, but I don't think there's a problem.
No.
I don't think it's a problem. But parenting isn't easy. But both people have to be as committed to the marriage. They have to be committed to how are we going to parent. And these are conversations that people don't have before they get married. It's like, hey, if we have kids, what do you think about raising kids?
Oh, absolutely. They're not thought of.
And that's where, I never believed in it until I did the job. But premarital counseling would really help people to go in and say, okay, how are you two going to handle your finances? How many kids do you want? How are you going to raise your kids? What's important to you? What isn't important? And if those things don't line up,
Yeah.
it can't just be, whoa, he's good in bed or she's good in bed. Like that's why marriages don't make it.
It's pretty funny when you're talking about, how are your finances going to align. Well, I worked many, many jobs. When I was working in Arizona, I worked with a guy, married, kid. I think he had one or two. I can't remember. I think at least one, of course. And he bought a new truck. Not brand new, it was used, but a few years old. And I was like, oh, wow, you got a new truck. I said, did your wife, you and your wife? He goes, I didn't talk to my wife about this. I said, you're married. You didn't talk to your wife about spending money? He goes, no, that's my money. I said, what do you mean that's your money? He goes, I work. And I ask her, how much do you need? And she'll say, well, I need X amount of dollars for this month. And he'll give it to her. And I said, well, what about the rest? No, that's mine. I said, what do you mean that's yours? Yeah, her money's her money. My money is mine. And we say, how much do I need to pay the mortgage and the light bill and all that, and groceries?
Yeah, people will be writing checks to each other.
Yeah, that's not what we learned.
Nope.
We learned you work your ass off.
That all the money goes into one pot.
Yeah, it goes into one pot and you pay the bills.
Yep.
Well, I was starting to think that this guy's a nut.
Until
later on when I started figuring things out and go, holy, we had a lot of money and all of a sudden, why are we broke all the time? Well, broke because someone had a secret bank account.
Yeah.
And that's where you get into the divorce one. We'll talk more about that.
Right.
But we weren't raised like that. You go to work, come home, give your wife the check, and she pays all the bills. That's what we were taught.
Yeah. Because she was way better at it than our father was.
Yeah.
And he was good at going out working.
Oh, yeah.
And
when you work 3 jobs.
yeah. And he, if he needed some money for gas, or because back then there weren't a lot of credit cards either. So you paid cash for stuff. If he needed some cash, she'd have cash for him.
Yep. I used to do that.
But see, they agreed. They agreed that that's how it was going to be. But I tried to do the same thing. It's like, I'll work really hard. I'll just put my check in the account.
Yeah.
And we'll pay that. We'll pay our bills.
Yeah, well.
But sometimes for some couples, it actually works better for that's my money, that's your money, and then we have a pot where we each contribute to that pot, and that pot pays the bills.
Yeah.
Some people say that works for them, and if they're happy and okay with it, fine with me.
Yeah, I thought it was like, I've never heard
But
that
it's weird.
before.
It feels weird, but I know for some people it works. And other people, it feels like wrong. It's like, aren't we one family?
Yeah.
But then you get into roles, like we're talking premarital counseling stuff. Again, based on our family, mom took care of the house. A lot of times took care of us, grocery shopping, buying clothes for us. And dad went out and worked his butt off. Mm-hmm. But I think now, and we did a feminism one way back, one of our other episodes.
Yeah.
I think now women are like, well, I need to go to work. I need to have a career. Okay, that's fine. But if the guy is thinking, no, I want you to be able to take care of our family, and I want you
And
to
I'll work.
right. I'll work,
I'll work 2 jobs
and you
if I have to.
take care of our family. You make our household a safe place for everybody. Make sure the kids are fed, taken care of, blah blah blah. And a lot of women are like,
I don't want that.
I don't want that. But there are women who still
Crave that.
Yeah, who still like,
Yeah.
listen, this is my family. I'm going to provide for them. I'm going to give what I can. And my husband's going to go do this. And and it just so happened that when Erica Kirk gave her speech the other day, where she was like, when my husband's away and when he comes home, I make sure he has a safe house and a well-kept house to come home to. And my ears were like, oh my God, there's still women that think that?
Yeah, like who thinks that way?
I guess they're still out there, but I think feminism has screwed that up.
Well, not only that, but it also is when inflation, well, your money, your income does not keep up with inflation, you have to have that other person go to work. I mean, it's getting to the point where you need 3 people to go to work.
I will say this though, because you just made me think. I had a couple. They both were professionals. One of their kids I was seeing, and he was really struggling a lot. They made the decision to sell their $500,000 house. They went down to like a $200,000 house. She stayed home. The dad worked. That family was never better.
Go figure.
So they, instead of like you were just saying, like you need 2 people to continue that standard of living, they were like, no, we'll just drop our standard of living so we can provide for our family by having mom stay home. I think she volunteered to work part-time, but she was a full-time, she made good money. She got out of it. She's like, and her kid miraculously was way better.
See? Because today's society, why have someone else raise your kid,
Yep.
pay that person, and they're not giving them the proper upbringing? Sometimes they'll just take a iPad and go, here, go in the other room and play.
Well, not only that, but the morals and the values that you want your kid to know, somebody else is teaching
Someone
them
else
that.
is teasing them. Or not even talking to them about
right.
it.
So I was lucky because mom didn't work. I think I was like 12, 13 when she went to work. And you had her till you were like kindergarten.
Well, first grade.
First grade.
First grade,
Right.
and then our sister Dawn used to pick me up from
Yeah.
school,
Right.
and then she would be home with me till Daddy came home.
Right. But I don't know. I just wish maybe people would look at certain things and figure out what's best for them and then create that. Don't have to keep up with the Joneses.
No.
You don't have to have we need a $6 million house now. No, you need a $10 million. Like, you don't need
Where
that.
does it stop?
Yeah. Because if that's what you're going to do and then your kids are screwed up.
Yeah. You need a decent house in a decent neighborhood.
Yep. Where everybody feels safe, but you could be a family.
Yeah.
And that's what I think marriage can provide, and good parenting. But if you're going to, try to do this and try to do that and go, above and above your standard of living, you're going to stress yourself out. You're going to stress your marriage out. Your kids aren't going to get good parenting. And then you got a mess, which probably eventually leads to the next video that we have.
The next.
Which is the Big D, and I don't mean Dallas. That's a country song, by the way.
Yeah. That's definitely going to be a timekeeper on that one.
Yeah.
Because we've been through multiple,
Yeah.
issues.
Yeah. So I think our opinion on this is that marriage can be really, really good if you have an idea what you're trying to do, and you're both on the same page, and you take the time to find that other person.
Yeah.
But if you're just winging it,
Yeah, I've been through the wing it.
Yeah.
Wing it don't work.
no.
Wing it does not work.
So,
So.
all right. Anything else?
No, I don't have anything else. Since this is going to be a 4-part mini series,
Right.
we're not going to keep them 45 minutes.
No, but I suspect that the next one's going to be a little bit more
A little bit more
angry, emotional.
emotional, longer.
Yeah. Okay.
But you know, I don't have anything else.
Okay.
You know, because the next gets into the next.
Fine,
You know.
You're right.
Yeah. So we'll keep it short. Please hit the like, subscribe, notification bell. And thank you for everything. We're going to try to be putting out some shirts.
Yeah.
I'm talking to someone
talking about getting some merch.
Getting some merchandise. And I think what we'll do is we'll do a unisex shirt, unisex, and we'll give one away to a female and a male.
Yeah.
You know, we'll figure out how to do everything and get them to them. You know, maybe they have to definitely make some decent comments.
Yeah.
And we'll get them out there.
Yeah, and and don't forget, like that's what we're doing is part of our opinions, and we have a voice, and don't let anyone silence your voice. And hopefully, you guys that are watching this grow with us because we'd like to grow this a little bit more.
Yeah, we're trying to grow up, not out.
Yeah,
it's not working.
Bigger shirts.
Bigger shirts. Yeah.
All
right, folks. Thank you very much. I
right.
appreciate you.
See you on chapter 3 of this.
Bye-bye.
Bye.